Hi, welcome back. So I literally had a shout out for this class, and it was from one of the members who comes to the yoga class, and it was literally a shout out because we're social distancing, and it was a request for foam roller. So for today's class, we're going to do foam roller for your spine, shoulders, and neck. So this is like awesome. And I think everybody can use this. So if you have a foam roller, go grab it and then meet me back on the mat. So to start with, you want to take the foam roller and just lay it lengthwise on your mat and just scoot yourself down to the bottom and then lie back. So hopefully you've got your tailbone supported and your head. You don't want your head going over top of the foam roller, just resting on the foam roller. The wider your feet are apart, the more stability you're going to have. The farther they are away, the more stability you're going to have. So adjust your feet, which is best for you. You may want to challenge yourself a little bit by bringing the feet closer together or closer to the foam roller, or you may want to just keep them a little wider, a little more stable. So this should feel sort of nice just lying here on the foam roller. It sort of allows the rib cage and the spine and the pelvis to open a little bit. So we're just going to help this out and really open up through the chest. Take your fingers, point them towards the ceiling. And now if your hands were going to be on a clock, drop them out to 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Relax the elbows and breathe. And this should feel really good. You just feel the chest opening up, getting into some of the smaller muscles that don't normally get some tension and some opening on them. Let your spine relax. And try and let the chest relax. Make note if one shoulder is maybe a little tighter than the other. My left shoulder today feels a lot tighter than the muscles on my right side. So you can stay here, you can choose to stay here and just breathe. Or if you want to increase the depth of this stretch, take your hands up to about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And keeping the elbows relaxed, try and take the tension out of the arms because we're trying to get everything to relax and let go. Making sure that you're breathing. The tendency is for a lot of people when they feel tension in stretches as they start to hold their breath. And when you exhale, it allows the muscles to relax and release even further. Okay, so you have the option of staying here, or if you want to go a little deeper, release a little bit, take your hands up to 11 and 1 o'clock and just reach them overhead. So now you may feel this come into maybe your low back. I really feel it in my thoracic spine, right between my shoulder blades. So now it's brought probably the lats into the stretch a little bit more. Also stretching through the chest, you should feel it in your lower chest. So this is really good to help open up the chest, help you breathe a little easier. Slowly slide the hands in. Now take the hands out to 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock where we started. And feel how much easier that is now. The muscles have just let go that much that it's just that little bit easier. Now bend the elbows, bring the elbows down in towards your waist with the thumbs pointed up towards your ears. So just bring the elbows in. Now you're going to feel this come into what's called the pec minor. And the pec minor is a muscle that runs right up into your shoulder blade. And when it's tight, it rolls the shoulder blade in. So it gives you sort of that slouched posture. The pec minor can be a little tough to stretch. So this is a really good way to get it. So those elbows are coming right towards the foam roller. Hopefully you can see it okay. And here comes Mack. He loves it when we do yoga. And slowly release out of that. Nice deep breath. Good. Now, bracing yourself and bracing your feet on the floor. Another stretch, if you want to, you can take the legs and sort of straighten them out, but in a V, and you can take your arms overhead. So it's sort of like that romper room type of stretch that some of us used to do when we were kids. And this really, really opens up through the whole anterior compartment of the body. So you may feel it in your hips, your chest. Slowly bring your hands in, brace yourself on the floor, bend both knees. And now just bring yourself off the foam roller to the side, nice and careful, because the foam roller will scooch around. Now take the foam roller and make it crossways onto the mat. Sit on it and hold yourself on the floor behind, slowly lowering yourself down onto the floor. So take the foam roller and just place it so it's underneath your sacrum. So that's that nice bony part on your pelvis. And you can extend your legs out here and just feel that whole opening through the front of the, it's not the most lovely looking posture, but it sure feels nice. A couple breaths here. So with any of these stretches, if you feel we're looking for tension, not pain. Bend the knees, scooch it up just a little bit so it's maybe into your low back. So you want tension, not pain. So most people have a good idea what tension feels like. Most people have a good idea what pain feels like. So for some people, you know, moving into these positions may be a little uncomfortable. You just want to come right out of it. You want to bring your knees in. Try to move fairly slowly. You don't want to do any quick movements if you're finding it uncomfortable. Just slowly come out of the movement. Right, Mackie? Yeah. And if you wish, you can take it up even a little bit more, right into the low back, right? Yeah. And you can keep the knees bent if you feel it right there where your knees are bent, or you can straighten your legs. So you get to adjust this to what is best for you. This feels really good in my low back. A couple more breaths. Slowly bend the knees, nice and easy. And now come up onto your elbows and scooch yourself forward so that now your hips are on the floor and the foam roller is just into the low back. So from here, you can place your elbows on the foam roller and just start to extend a little bit, or your hands on the floor, and just start to extend back just a little bit, tension, not pain. So with all of these movements, if you feel more comfortable with your hands on the floor, you keep them on the floor. Come on up, scooch it up, a couple vertebrae, and just lean back. So if you're comfortable with your elbows on the foam roller, put your elbows on the foam roller, elbows on the floor. Bring it up a little bit and around. If you're just below your thoracic spine, you can keep your hands on the foam roller, your elbows on the foam roller, and sort of extend here. Your hands on the floor. Or if you want to take it to a different level, place your hands behind your head and just go into extension again, taking it easy, nice and careful. Tension, not pain. Slowly come out of these. And you can feel your abs have to work as you come out of it. And roll it up a little bit more. Get yourself settled in. Fingertips behind the ears. Try and keep the elbows out and go into that extension again. Remember to exhale. This is so liberating on your spine. Place your elbows down. Come on up. Roll it up a little bit more. A little shimmy. Get settled in. Same thing. I nearly feel at this point like I could be on a lounge chair on a beach. Maybe order a nice cold drink. That's a nice thought. Move the roller up a little bit more. Same thing. Leaning back. Oh. Something just cracked in my spine. Felt really good. So once you get up to here, you can try it a little bit higher. You may not feel it as much. So now we're going to do sort of a bit of a navigation. We're going to do some navigational movements. So just rolling onto your side and placing the foam roller under your armpit. So starting to rock forward and back. So you can rock right onto the shoulder blade and rock forward. You can rock back. Yeah. And back. And you can roll it down your shoulder blade a bit if you want to get in, around, under the shoulder blade. So here's something that's a really nice idea to do with this. If you find something that when you roll onto it, it's like, it will nearly take your breath away, just try and let me see, I'll find a spot. There's one for me. I'm just going to sit on it. I'm just going to sit and apply as much pressure as I can tolerate. If your neck's getting sore, you can even put your head in your neck and just breathe. Just breathe through it. I know it's uncomfortable. Try and breathe. You'll notice as you keep breathing, keep going. It'll start to go away. And and then work through it. And you may feel things sort of like cords slip. It's like, what the heck was that? And that's often a muscle that's in a bit of spasm. Now I'm just going to roll this down a little bit. I know I've got a guy right down in here. Where'd he go? There he is. So I'm going to stay here and breathe on him. And then just roll it out. Oh, so much better. Like that cord, I can hardly even feel it flipping through anymore. So that's often just something in spasm. You can take this up higher, or what you can do later on, sorry Mac, is take your head and place it right on the foam roller and now start to roll back and forth. Rolling forward, rolling back, getting into the neck, getting into these upper muscles in through the neck where the traps come in, levator scapulae. And again, if you find something that's like, oh my gosh, you just stay there, you breathe through it, applying as much pressure as you can. And then just start to rock back and forth. Another method here is to just nod no. And that should feel really good. It's funny when you're saying no, things can feel really good. But sometimes no is a good power word. We have to learn when to say no. No one being too social. In person. And even a yes here. There's a nice spot for yes. Yes to staying together socially while being apart. You're doing it here. So this motion you can do, you want to roll over and do on the other side. So you get through the shoulders with the arm over top, rolling back and forth, finding spots, rolling up and down, finding what's in the shoulder, going into your neck. So you can do that. And then for our last exercise, just pushing the foam roller through so there's just a little bit in front of your head. So stacking your knees so both knees are stacked over each other. And this is what you're going to have to watch because your knees are going to want to rock back as we do this exercise. Try to keep them stacked together. Take your hands and stack your hands both on top of one another. So not back, on top of one another. So now that you're set up, take in the top hand and draw a circle on the floor. Draw it all the way up over the mat. Keep the knees stacked. This is where the knees want to pull back. Try and touch the floor. I can't touch the floor anywhere back there. If I rock my knees back, I can touch the floor, but I need to keep those knees stacked. So now I'm going to get a greater range of motion. Moving through, trying to get the hand to the floor. Once it can touch the floor, bring it across, bring it over top of the hips, bring it through, and stack the hands again. So keeping everything stacked. We're going to do this 2 more times. Open, touch the circle, touch the circle. Oh, there it comes off the floor. But I'm going to really slow it down here because I know this is where I'm tight. And this is really good. You feel it in your chest. You may feel it in your obliques and your hips. This is just a really great exercise. It'll open up through the front of your shoulder blade. There we go, onto the floor. So try not to do these too quickly. Just slow it down and breathe through it. And a lot of people say that this is one of their favorites that they do this, they really feel a difference after having done this exercise, because it's just so great for shoulder range of motion. And don't be upset if your range of motion isn't that great. You keep doing these, it will start to get better. But again, always with, especially with the joints that move a lot, like your shoulders and your hips, you treat them with a lot of respect. So now that we've finished this side, you would roll over and you would do it on the other side. So thank you very much. You might even want to take a few moments and lie and just breathe and thank, taking in gratitude, taking in thankfulness. And I take in so much thanks for you joining me today. I'll be coming out, if you don't have a foam roller, I'm going to be coming out with a great leg and hip stretch that uses, everybody will have the tool that we can use for that. So stay tuned. You'll be having another session coming very soon. Thanks again. Namaste.